So we're at the Ark now. All of this goes back to the authority of God. And like it or not, the Bible is God's word.
That guided all that we did. I've been building boats most of my life.
Now it's kind of busy in there, so all the different cultures in the world have a flood legend. They have some kind of story about how the earth was flooded and they had to survive in a boat or chest or raft of sorts with animals and their family on board. It's just kind of interesting that many people discount the flood account as described in the Bible, yet every culture in the world talks about flood as if it was a story that was passed down through the generations. Now, the problem with a lot of these other cultures' accounts of the flood is from a certain perspective, it just doesn't seem like it would actually realistically happen in those circumstances because the boats were either too small or they wouldn't have actually survived the floodwaters. Yet the Ark, if you run it through all the different scientific tests and stability and structural tests, it would actually be able to survive the floodwaters for as long as they occurred. Just a little food for thought. That's actually a kind of interesting exhibit that I'd heard about. This is very new, actually. It was probably put up maybe a few months ago. I forget when, but it was recent. But it talks about how the flood account, as it pertains to the Bible and Noah's Ark, that account has spread all throughout the world. And different cultures and different countries all have all these kind of toys, models, signs, just a lot of different depictions of Noah's Ark. And it's just kind of interesting how each culture kind of interprets that. earlier I mentioned something about, as Christians, we need to trust in the Bible. All of this goes back to the authority of God and the authority of His Word. If we discount the Bible, then you discount your entire faith. And I know a common argument that people usually bring up is, well, everybody in the Old Testament didn't have the Bible. A lot of people in the New Testament didn't have the Bible. True, but they also had a direct or indirect line to God. Obviously, people like Noah or Abraham or Moses, they all had a direct line to God. They had communication with God. They didn't really need a Bible because they already had God's Word right then and there. Prophets had a line to God. The disciples walked with Jesus, direct line with God. Even many people that had learned from the disciples, they at least had an indirect line because these were disciples that met God. It wasn't until the early church fathers that we were able to compile all these different manuscripts together to form what we now call the Bible. So it sounds like a lot of the animals are in their barns. Not a big deal. We'll be back here again when it's warmer out. One of these days I'll do that. Just not today. I think that's about it for the Ark today. But we'll be back. Well, I'm finally back to the car. I did decide to get some things at the gift shop. I got Jesus Unmasked by Todd Friel. I realized I don't actually have any books by him, so I grabbed that. This one's called Divine Dilemma, Wrestling with the Question of a Loving God in a Fallen World. Yeah, so interesting book. And also, Gospel Reset, also by Ken Ham. This is one of his major books that he came out with. He's done several lectures based around the content of this book. Yeah, I own a signed copy of this actually. Reason why I got a second one is because I just think the subject matter of this book is so relevant that I want to be able to have an extra copy on hand for somebody else. So, well, now it's time for the long 5-ish hour journey home. I'll pick it back up again once I'm back on the road after getting gas.
Every breath I praise you. We wanna see your kingdom come. We are your hands, we are your feet. We wanna see your kingdom come. We are the light that breaks through.
Just past what's known as Gas City. About the halfway mark between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, roughly. My dad is going to be bringing my dog down for me. And then I'll be spending the rest of the night just kind of getting things unpacked and settling in. Honestly, I still haven't really had supper yet. So we got some interesting things happening over the next couple days.